October-ish music.
A little Halloweenish. A little Harry Potterish.
Yeah. I think you swallowed both those nails. I mean, hit them on the head.
Hit them on the head.
Whatever. Dude, it's like episode 102.
Oh, wow. You got it right.
That is the closest you've ever been.
Is that
Yep.
right?
It is the closest you've ever been, yeah.
It is close.
It's 102, right?
It could be like 103 because we've got a few bonus episodes thrown in there that we didn't count
That's true.
because we love our fans
101.
so much.
101.
Yeah, a little spooky Halloween intro music for this spirit-full episode.
Dude, this Halloween is like no other.
I caught it.
Is it?
Yeah.
You got it. You got heated, and I think it went
I
right,
totally
right
missed
over
it.
our doctor's head. It was just,
Yeah.
you switch it to his camera view, it went,
Right
Just
over
like
there.
that.
yeah. But we're calling this one a spirit-full episode because we've got our special guest on.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are going to be surprised to hear I've got a boss. But yeah, my boss is here, and the director of sales from Red River Brewery and Distillery, David Protz, is here to join us. Welcome to the show, David.
Hey, thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Glad to have you here, man.
I walked from Red River.
Yep.
It was a long
God
walk.
bless.
Long way.
It was a little cold when you left, too. You guys got to snow.
Yeah, we have. We've had 2 days worth of snow already. It's not really sticking there, but it will shortly.
It's currently 90 degrees here.
Yep.
At least
Yeah,
it
this-
warmed up as you made your way over here.
Yeah.
Texas really sucks this bad, right? It's hot.
Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was born in Roswell, so
Okay.
that-
Okay.
should I say that? Armpit of the world?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But there's some cool alien stories that go on.
I grew up. The only reason I know about Roswell is like that mystery show from whenever we were a kid.
Called
Unsolved
Roswell.
Mysteries.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, they're okay. They're remaking it.
Really?
Yes, they are. They're remaking it.
Who's
There's
at the helm?
Netflix.
Okay.
They don't have. I don't remember the guy's name that used to host it. They don't have a dedicated host anymore, or a narrator. For
Yeah, that guy
matter.
was creepy.
Yeah, but he was so perfect
It's like
for it.
detective voice too.
He's so perfect for it.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but in the intro, like the monologue and the all the graphics they do, they have like a shadow of him as it fades into the story of whatever the episode's going to be.
Yeah.
so they're paying homage to him. Before we get started with what David has bestowed upon us, let's talk about what happened last night. So originally, you were supposed to be here tomorrow.
Correct.
But I called you and I said, David, can you bump it up a couple of days?
Did you say it like that?
I was excited.
David.
David, listen, tune in.
I can picture this.
I was excited.
in my mind.
I was excited because Trinity Street in Decatur, Texas, had the glorious idea to not only feature the Red River spirits, but do it up like with a nice pairing dinner of all 9 courses. So 9 spirits, 9 courses.
And they did it up, too, boy.
How did it go?
They did it up and went really good.
It was spectacular.
yeah.
It was really good.
I was hoping, one, we were all going to be impressed and everybody, but like if he's coming, I'm like, I really hope that we set this up and he's impressed. And I hope we succeeded in that.
It's not usual to do that sort of thing with spirits. So I have a wine background, and we do a lot of that in wine. So it's a little unusual, but in my opinion, it's unusual because it's a lot harder. And
Sure.
their chef knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, he did. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
wine just goes good with everything.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing bad with wine, right?
Yeah.
But
Depends on the wine.
Well, okay, yeah, we've had some bad wine, but I'm saying in general, wine typically pairs well with just about any damn thing.
Yeah.
Spirits are a different animal.
Yeah.
9 different pairings. I can't remember the name of everything they did, but they Chef Michael there at Trinity Street killed it. Matea for setting up everything, coordinated everything, and the brewery or the distillery coming in, helping getting product in. And then Matt, the owner of the place, couldn't be there. I scared David a little bit because I made a speech and thanked everybody. And I said, Matt, he couldn't be with us tonight. And David looked up. He's like, "Has he passed away?" No, he's just never here.
It's at least you didn't do the dinner in memory of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This dinner's dedicated to.
It's the advantage of being an owner.
No, we had a great time, and then finished it up with a really couple of cool desserts and a cool dessert cocktail that was crafted up by Isaac Chavez and Chris Leon. That's Doc's favorite word.
Both are
Leon.
are fixtures at Trinity Street.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's the element of whiskey pairing or spirit pairing?
Yeah, so there was
It's
only
like,
two whiskeys.
What do you think about whenever you're trying to pick a food that pairs well?
I don't know. Maybe David could elaborate. I wouldn't know how to start.
You could go safe, and we're in Texas. You could do steak with everything, and that would be very safe. Because if what people like is as long as the beverage is well balanced, not out of kilter for any reason, it's going to go.
But that beverage is going to obliterate anything it's paired with.
It could, depending. And we were doing straight spirits. We weren't doing cocktails. We were tasting the spirits with whatever they had made. So he didn't play anything safe. The really cool thing, we started with vodka. That's the lightest that we make, and they went with potatoes.
Yeah,
and that's an obvious sort of thing. But he did Thai with some stuff. He did, and you were asking about the whiskey. The bourbon went first out of the rye went first. With the bourbon, he did a turtle cookie. Which had bourbon in it to start with. So you could do similarities or you could do opposites, but he was very creative in what he went after.
Cool.
Did not play it safe.
No,
it paid
great.
off. The risk paid off for sure.
Good shit's happening in Decatur.
Really good shit. Like the food at Trinity Street is up the game quite a bit. They have
I would agree.
Weekly specials. And they stay on rotation more than just a week, but go up for dinners there and get something that you would probably have to go to Dallas or something to find.
Yeah, I heard
that type of quality.
I heard that's the reason why Texas got put on for the Michelin star, because what Trinity Street's got going on.
I got you. Obviously, I do not doubt it.
You sure it's not Michelin star?
It could be Michelin.
That's how Anthony Bourdain says it.
Well, we've already fact checked it. He was wrong.
One more thing for Trinity though, Trinity Street is everybody was involved. It wasn't just the chef, and if you go there for dinner, have no fear about going up to the bar or having a cocktail beforehand and tell them what you're going to have for dinner and tell them to match them something. They'll do it.
Oh yeah,
they were all involved.
It is a full hands-on experience every time you go up there. Everybody's knowledgeable about not only their own part but everybody else's parts too. Well, let's move on from that. And David, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, your history, and then we'll casually roll into the alcohol.
Well, so we were just talking earlier. I'm old. So
62 is not old. Man.
It's feeling old.
Really? You're
Yeah.
62?
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't have guessed it.
To look at my knees.
And
You haven't seen my
I'm a
knees.
biologic guy, so I can judge it. But
Yeah, no, it's probably because I drink so much.
yeah,
I'm pickled from the inside out.
in a medical exam, we would say younger than stated age, right?
I'll take anything I can get.
Doc has never used that term for you and I, has he?
Never.
No, never.
Well, my wife's medical term is old and stupid, but we can skip that.
But still happily married, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously biased.
works.
Yeah.
So I had something come through my head, but my sixth grade teacher said, "David, you don't have to say everything that comes in your head," so I'll skip that.
That's how we work on this show. We are not censored, and if people are easily offended, well, they can go on down to Peterson or whoever doesn't censor. Who censors? I don't know. It's not us.
Well, then I'll say it. You guys have never seen me naked.
So it could happen. That's there's a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my background is I'm a native New Mexican, born in Roswell, but I grew up in Las Cruces, way down south. And I got into restaurants early on, and then started. I moved to Chicago for exactly 25 years.
It's a good place for restaurants.
Yeah, but I worked for one restaurant there, and then I got into the distributing game with wines.
Okay.
So I specialized on premise, which is for restaurants and bars and whatnot, doing wines and wine pairing. And from there, I was only there for about a year. I went to a big wine company, an international wine company that grew and has a lot of labels. And that's how I got into food and wine pairing and doing that sort of stuff. So, and briefly, there's a gentleman that did a lot of research in this that worked for our company at that time. There are only 5 things that the human tongue can really taste. You've got receptors for these 5 things, and a flavor goes into those receptors like a key in a lock. And if that happens, you can't taste anything in that same receptor until it's cleared out, which doesn't happen the same as with the brain.
Bitterness, sweetness, saltiness, acidity.
Bitter is
Okay.
one, and then umami.
Umami.
Okay. Yeah.
So that undescript.
Savory is what we call it in the States.
Yeah.
Or downtown they call it Yomami.
Okay, yo, mommy.
What would
Yo
be the
mama.
Okay, I got you.
What would be the identifying food that you could give that to somebody, they would eat it?
That's the hard thing about
that's umami.
yo, mommy.
Yo
the
mama.
fat from a New York
Don't say
steak,
nothing about my mama.
Yo, mama.
or a very ripe red tomato.
Oh,
Okay.
Those don't sound the same.
No, they
but
don't.
they're both high in umami. If what is this stuff? MSG. That's used for preserved a lot of. If you make a tea out of MSG, it's like 98% umami.
Interesting.
that's why it tastes so good.
So I
Yeah.
think obviously soy sauce is salty, right? But the soy
But
sauce
high in
is-
umami also.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Or like whenever I make a batch of chili, not New Mexico chili, obviously that's different, but make a batch of chili, and then I smell the fish sauce, and I'm like, "Ugh," because that's what happens whenever you smell fish sauce. And then I pour about 2 tablespoons into that chili, and I mix it in. Then the chili takes on more umami.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Do you think
does
that's
that.
why anytime you talk about going out to eat, like Asian food is on the tip of everybody's frontal lobe? Like that's the first thing that pops in because
is.
everybody subconsciously you're associating with umami,
Yeah.
whether you know it or not.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
or you just want to sound cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
mean,
There's a lot of those.
it's not just Asian,
I
but
like
like-
the umami in this this dish.
yeah. Give me some of that umami.
Yeah,
But that's around here. It's like you want to go out to eat, you think either Asian or Mexican
yeah,
or Tex-Mex or whatever. It's become a fusion around here. Like before it was Tex-Mex, which was bullshit because it's like cheese on everything. Just some tortillas and some cheese and some meat. Tex-Mex. There you go.
Sounds pretty
Yeah.
good.
It does. It works. No, don't get me wrong. It works. It works.
But what I think you were alluding to is, given all the different possible tastes out there, you're playing around with an equation of 5 different
Right.
things.
It's actually simpler than you would think.
Yeah.
So you can do, and with that in mind, you go either you try and do similarities, which I've never been able to do much with that. It's always opposites to me. One thing. So that's why some things will cleanse your palate in between tastes of the food. But the bottom line is if the food is well balanced and so is your drink, they're going to go together well because that's everybody
Period.
has things that they like more than something else. So
Yeah, and so well balanced is well balanced along that continuum. Like it's
Right.
got a little sweet, it's got a little sour, it's got a little.
Or it's not overly one or the other. It's not overly sour, overly salty. That's
Okay.
because the humans really don't like that sort of thing when that happens. But
Yeah. So how did we come up with the pretzel? Right? It's and then we dip it in mustard. So it's like we take the pretzel and we dip it in
Well, not just-
something that's overly salty and dip it in something that's overly bitter.
because
Right?
the pretzel by itself is overly boring.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not
right?
much going on there.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
something
But
to
it's
kick
not
it up.
just mustard. Some people dip it in
And
cheese.
beer cheese.
Beer cheese, yeah. And
Yeah, what's the thing behind beer cheese? Didn't we talk about this one time with
could've.
Brad Green?
yeah, possibly. Yeah, it'd be a little umami.
Yeah, I think so, right?
I guess so. Man, I wish at some point maybe we can make an introduction between Brad and David.
That would be cool.
Brad was here for our 50th episode, and he comes from the oil patch, but he's curated this thing in his house. It's a multi-course fine dining experience in his house. You buy tickets ahead, and you sit down, and you're kind of at the mercy of whatever his menu is for the night. I think the tickets kind of give you a roundabout.
It's like a broad spectrum of, but I don't think so. I don't remember.
You don't get a you don't know. Some things are a surprise.
It's a chef's
But,
table.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a chef's table.
Basically,
Chef's table
yeah.
experience, very much so. Maybe we can make that introduction between y'all. He's an artist,
Yeah,
for sure. So Chicago,
Sounds cool.
Chicago. You're in Chicago, and you've teamed up with this wine estate, not an estate, but a wine.
Multinational company. They were owned by Foster's Beer.
Okay,
And then they had 68 labels at that time that I was working for them. It's changed a bit since then.
my God.
And within a label, you're going to have multiple items, varietals within that. So it was pretty big. It was extensive.
Mm-hmm.
And because one of them was Behringer, and we made a lot of White Zinfandel and
everybody knows Baron.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
he really can't knock Behringer
no,
for being top of the.
They have affordable, and then they
Production
have top tier
chain.
too.
Well, and that's the thing is a lot of people think that if you've got affordable wines that you're not doing anything nice, and there are a lot of companies that focus on one or the other. But with Behringer, they make white Zinfandel, and being in sales, you have to come up with a reason for people to drink white Zinfandel. But they also have a private reserve level that is absolutely incredible, $125 a bottle.
Oh, okay.
So you're looking at the high end as well, and when people see the Behringer name on it, they're we don't grow up drinking wine in this country, so they're a little trepidatious,
Okay.
to say the least.
Oh, I like that word. Trepidatious.
Yeah, but
It's a wine word.
our country has saved the wine industry in France, isn't that right?
Well, we have approached what they're drinking per person in France. As a matter of fact, I just heard again that for a while France was imbibing more wine per person than anywhere else in the world, but Italy just retook their crown.
Oh, wow.
This past year.
How dare they? No, I thought there was some sort of a bug epidemic or something where France or a
phylloxera.
freeze, or they lost a lot of their vines. And,
Phylloxera is what
Okay.
it's called. It's a pest.
Okay.
And they had to go searching for their original rootstocks back, of which we had here
Yeah.
and in South America.
Okay. So take that, France.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're still speaking French because of us, and your wine is still good because of us.
So your job in Chicago was to go around to all the restaurants and the liquor stores and basically inform or educate
Or beg.
or beg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. See if you can get as many labels as possible
Correct.
on the shelves.
And the Chicago market is odd because so we're looking at 9 items from Red River today, and if you walked into Chicago with more than like 3 items, they're instantly they've got a chip on their shoulder and they're like, I'll taste those 2, and amongst those 2, I'll choose one maybe. They won't carry multiple items, so something like we did last night with 9 items, all from one label is unusual, especially for Chicago.
Dicks.
Yeah.
That's, it's like they got to give the air of exclusivity.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Man. That's so what are we starting with tonight?
Hold on.
What?
We're not done with this story. Calm your tits, bro.
Still
Calm
in
your
Chicago.
tits.
I'm following. We're still in Chicago.
How in the world did you end up back in New Mexico?
So I didn't want to leave New Mexico to start with.
Okay.
So I always wanted to be back there, and I'd lived in Taos a couple of times at different spots, and I just love the mountains. Growing up in the desert, the first time you see some mountains, either you're going to love it or it's not going to make much of a difference to you, and it really struck me.
I don't want to be friends
It's
with
like
those people
dogs,
that-
though. You don't trust people who don't love dogs.
There's
It's like
true,
you don't
though.
trust people who just are like, yeah, there's some mountains.
And a little bit of trivia here. Heath's favorite artist was once in Taos.
Oh,
too.
that's true.
Yeah, we have a little bit of her work over there.
Yeah.
Who is that?
I don't know. What was her name, bro?
Shit, I don't even remember. God almighty.
She was a hippie chick, though.
Oh my!
I know you can't imagine in Taos that there would be a hippie chick selling art
I had
in
to
a
walk
shack.
out. I had
But
to walk out.
It
Yeah.
could be like, what if it was somebody he was related to?
Well,
do you
sorry that
recognize
you're related to
that?
that.
I
person.
don't, but
Okay.
I recognize the
Where the
picture.
location is, yeah.
Yeah.
My wife got a tattoo right in that second door.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
It's 3-dimensional, though. If you put on 3D glasses, it pops.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it pops. Works pretty good.
Yeah, the art was cool, but
Yeah.
the
She-
chick
I don't-
selling it was not.
I don't know where her accent came from, but it's not a
No, she
not
was
a
not.
she
no.
practiced on it. You want to replicate it?
I don't even know if I can.
It's like, welcome into my store. But you hold your nose a little bit.
my art's the finest art in Taos.
Talking we're walking around chatting with her.
enjoying it.
Looking
Yeah.
at the art, like, dumbfounded at how great this art is. And we look over, he's out the door like, oh,
I couldn't handle it no more.
I think I know her.
You might.
she's a good lady, right?
Oh yeah, great. She might be, but yeah.
Does she have a dueling scar that starts on her upper lip and goes all the way around to the back of her head?
I don't think so.
Okay, then
She might.
I don't know her.
All right, you're back to New Mexico. How did you?
Well, I thought I was going to retire.
Okay.
This is during COVID. So I had worked for that same company for the second time in 25
Chicago
years.
just got stupid, and you're like, I'm checking my ticket, man.
Yeah, Illinois kind of got stupid
Yeah.
for a while there. So I moved back, and I thought, well, I'll do semi-retired, and I'll work for a distributor here, one of the ones that I had managed back in Chicagoland, the largest in the country, called Southern Glaziers.
Yep.
Which, half of them started here in Texas. the glaziers portion, and the southern was from Florida. So
Okay.
they came together. So I worked for them for a while, and I made some connections, including Red River. They have a restaurant up there, a brewery, and they were one of my customers. And I started seeing what they were doing with their distillery, and I said, you guys are getting into the distributorship. It's a strange world out there. It's not like selling shoes or toilet paper or
Or like
mugs.
just selling beer either. It's not even like that.
It's weird. So I said, you guys could probably use some help. What are your experiences? And they said, yeah, we've had some difficulties. So I don't know that I've cleared that up, but yeah, it's a different world.
What year was that? I know the brewery started in 2018. The brewery and the restaurant were complete because we were like, I don't know, we were up there in October and it was like the third or fourth day they were open, if I remember right.
Yep, the first time.
But that's a whole different entity, right?
It is, but it evolved
Okay.
into the distillery, which is now
Gotcha.
fully operational and putting out damn fine product.
Yeah, because
Sure.
I want to say the first time we went, they were still like in the middle of hiring. They only had like
Yeah, it
short
was
staff.
skeleton
Yeah.
crew, and it was just now in the beginning stages of.
That's actually part of life in Red River. They don't because you have shoulder seasons that are just dead. You can't
Yeah.
keep a full staff around. So
Yeah.
they've
Everything's seasonal.
got, very seasonal.
But not the restaurant. They're open all year round, right? They don't.
We were just named the busiest restaurant and the busiest brewery in northern New Mexico.
Okay.
And then when you look at everything north of Santa Fe, we're the busiest restaurant in the state.
Okay.
So,
Dang.
yeah, it's they do a lot of business up there, and we're the only ones that are open steadily and for regular hours. Everybody else just closes on a whim.
Right.
Gotcha.
If they don't see enough people standing at the door. So yeah, and
That
I
makes
actually
sense.
I do their sales for their beer too. We only sell 6 beers and a root beer.
Okay.
And it's only in kegs, so only for restaurants.
Okay.
And only in New Mexico.
Any-
we don't can anything.
Any whispers about maybe that crossing state boundaries in can form or bottle form?
No, because we'd have to buy a bottling
okay.
or cannery situation, and it's doesn't really make it worthwhile. They got started there because they were making everything for their restaurant.
Yeah.
And then we got some really great reviews on the vodka to start with.
Okay.
And branched out from there. That's why they decided to invest some more money, and we've got the state's largest copper pot still up there in northern New Mexico.
So if you're in Red River, the distillery is in fact not in the restaurant and brewery. It is on the southern end of town where the horse stables are. What did that building used to be? It used to be an ATV rental place, right?
A long time ago, and then it was actually more recently at somebody's house.
Oh,
They
okay.
were living there.
Now repurposed into a distillery and a tasting room. Yeah,
which is amazing.
With Quentin making some of the best cocktails I've ever had there.
And Quentin's a hoot. That
Yeah.
guy's
Yep.
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It is. It
comes
was
from
fun.
New Orleans.
New
Louisiana.
Orleans.
Nolans.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to make sure I just clarify one point that I'm like hanging up on.
Okay.
A distillery in New Mexico is different than a dispensary. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that like
Little
two
difference.
different things? Like
We both dispense, but what we dispense is very different.
okay, so one you can pack up and bring back to Texas, and the other one you shouldn't.
You can. I just think it's illegal.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, so don't get busted with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drive slow.
Use your blinkers.
Should you partake in both at the same time?
You can.
Can.
It's just not
Okay.
a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
I think everybody here at this table can safely say not a good idea.
not a good idea.
We've all done it.
I
All
mean,
tried it.
if you're at your house and you're not going nowhere, I mean,
I know. In med school, we used to call it crunked.
crunk.
Yeah, it's like if you partake in both at the same time, you get crunked really fast.
This is coming from the person in charge of
just
our
saying.
health.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, learn from the best.
yeah.
Okay, sorry,
Don't
I
do
got
what
off.
he
I got off subject here.
Yeah, we tend to do that on the show, David. We squirrel, and
That's
we'll go down a
that's
trail.
perfectly fine. That's the way to go about it.
You usually put out a disclaimer at the beginning of the show stating that we are the most unprofessional little podcast there ever was. So.
Let's put it out now. We're
What?
the most
I just did.
unprofessional. Okay,
It
thank you.
is.
No,
But
Thanks.
you have the floor. Go ahead, say it.
No, well, we're the most unprofessional podcast.
yes. Little
We are.
podcast.
I just noticed your shirt,
What?
The
the
doc,
doc
one.
one. That's pretty rad.
But
I know, I hate
something
fucking
has
Disney.
happened on this podcast that hasn't happened yet in 101 episodes.
What is that?
This is the longest podcast we've gone without having a drink yet.
That's true.
We could change that right now.
Building up the suspense. So
It is.
So what? He gets to say it, and then all of a sudden we're like, yeah, let's throw some drinks around.
he's got to get his way every now
That's
and then.
right. That's right.
Did you get your dispensary question cleared up though?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But you don't run pairings, between the dispensary and the distillery like you do between the restaurant and the distillery.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't know where to start with that.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that does, but
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want to start with the herb, right? Because then it's like, what are we supposed to be doing?
Yeah, okay, so I get it now.
Or you do, because then after that, everything tastes amazing.
So the herb, like, fucks your palate.
I would think so.
If you're smoking it.
Okay.
Now Martha Stewart was making some incredible
Oh,
candies.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
for
right?
a while.
Well,
And not in prison, but okay. Yeah.
Why does everything taste so good then afterwards?
Yeah, that has,
Same reason why when
it's,
you go to the
it's
club.
not complex. It's just because of the munchies.
Yes.
Well, what gives you the munchies?
Well,
Yes.
I'm sure there's a reason. I don't know what it is.
Okay,
I would have
maybe
to look it
maybe
up.
you can think on it
Okay.
while David
I'll research that.
is pouring us the first tasting and telling us about it.
Well, we're going back to wine days. In wine, you always taste the lightest and the fruitiest, and then you work your way up to the biggest and boldest. So that's how I
Gin.
have these set
Okay.
up. So we're going to start with vodka.
Vodka.
'cause
Okay, vodka.
is so neutral. There's not much to it. It can be the basis for a lot of things, like a gin. And our vodka, with this vodka specifically, I would suggest that you taste it first, and then you add a drop of water. Drop no more. Some people do it in ice form, but it really makes a huge difference.
Show it to the camera, Doc. Silver King vodka.
Oh, sorry about
from
that.
Red River
yes,
Distillery. Two-time double gold winner, right? Or is that the gin?
No, this is now about 5-time.
Oh my!
Gold.
Okay.
Winning.
I've got to update my notes then.
Yeah, we just got some stuff this summer.
Okay, I'm just deciding whether I'm doing the highball glass or I think I am.
There's 9 of these, so
Okay.
pace yourself.
So
Yeah.
are you
Highball.
guys are
It's
you guys
vodka,
aware?
It doesn't matter, bro.
Are you guys aware that there's a famous vodka from Texas?
Tito's.
Tito's?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Oh, sorry.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Starts with a T.
So
Ends with an O.
I think this pairs very well against
Tito's?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought
honestly,
but I'm skewed.
I've
because-
never had Tito's.
really ever. Wow, you should really taste it against this.
Okay.
But I do think
it's better.
This
Much
really
better.
improves with just a touch of water.
Okay. I have to try that.
Water it up.
That is Overton Farm water you poured in there, so it may or may not improve.
yeah, I was going to say that might not.
I think you should touch on the water that is used in the distillation of these, because that is a monumentally important thing to the taste of these spirits.
Well, keep in mind that so you and I are in the sales end of this whole thing. Our distiller Gavin up in Red River, young kid. Doing a really great job. This is all about chemistry and whatnot, so you have to have a good background in chemistry. He's really been able to perfect these and change them as we moved along. If you're a big company like that vodka company you're just mentioning, you can't, like McDonald's, you cannot afford to change anything. You alienate all your customer base.
Yeah.
So getting started, we've been able to really refine some of these in the market, which is a little on the unusual side. But what we do different up there is because we're at elevation, 8,750 feet high. Water boils at a much lower temperature. We have really clean, pure mountain water up there because we're at the very top of the Red River in the Red River Valley. And it's when you're looking at 80 proof spirits like we have here, 40% alcohol. The other 60% is water. And so it makes a huge difference. Even down in Albuquerque, they switch their water sources every season, hot versus cold, because it's they cut the river off like you were just talking about here on your property. So you're looking at river water aquifer for half of the year and deep well after that. So it's hard to make things really consistently when you're doing that.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So-
and there is how I would describe this. I haven't added the water yet, but this is a light tasting vodka, but there is a bit of a back of the palate note that hits very early. That's just mineral in
Oh,
nature.
you know what? That's better. I always thought it was more vegetal, but I think it's more mineral than it is.
So full disclaimer, this is the first time you've had any of
Yeah.
this, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you moved and we don't ever see your ass anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Yeah.
I live on a postage stamp.
Me too.
Well, you say that. We kind of barely seen him when he was here. So.
We probably will see him more.
God, I really
Yeah,
like
we,
that.
we might see him more.
Okay, now I'm going to add the water. I just a dash, right?
Yep, just a dash. It really changes the chemistry on this whole thing, and especially that back of the palate that's really going to come through for you now.
But this has appealed to every vodka drinker that I have tasted it with.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's been turned off by it. Everybody's either
Turned on by it.
turned on.
I mean, I know nothing about vodka, but I would sit around and sip this.
Sure.
And there's a lot of people these days that will just have vodka on the rocks, maybe with a squeeze of citrus.
I mean,
That's-
it's clean, right?
that's what it's supposed to be.
I think
Yeah.
it's the smoothest vodka I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can sit there and just
But
sip
there's
on it.
there's
It's
flavorful
so-
like elements that
right. No.
that don't have that other vodkas just
That don't shine
have.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, it's so smooth.
Okay, so wow, that's cool.
And so it goes with a lot of different things, and one of my favorites is lemonade, because I'm a lemonade junkie. So, and at the restaurant they do a strawberry lemonade with this in it. That's just out of this world.
I bet it'd be good with that root beer too.
Oh yeah. The root beer's pretty sweet.
It is.
That,
I've had
that
it,
would
but-
cut the sweetness on it. so-
Vodka and root beer?
Yeah,
I'd try it.
I don't know if there's anything that vodka doesn't
Yeah,
go into
that's
as a
true.
mixer.
Yeah, because you're probably not going to be
Because
able
it's
to
so
taste
neutral.
much of the vodka with the root beer.
I
but
mean,
it's
I
gonna-
can think of numerous trips where we've like tried to mix the Smirnoff with the Coke, and
I mean-
it just doesn't work.
You think root beer
yeah,
is a weird thing?
I mean the Coke you drink, not the.
yeah.
Yeah,
You think
Yeah,
root
not the
beer
Coke you
is
smell.
a
Right.
weird thing to put vodka in, but orange juice is not?
I mean that's
Touche. Yeah.
okay.
It's all
Like,
subjective.
I don't think there is.
I did have a question earlier I completely skipped over. When
It
you
really is a valid point.
when you were in the
Yeah.
wine industry, what was your favorite pairing as far as food pairing and type of wine?
So I'm kind of a bit of a Francophile, so I like my Rhone and Rhone blends. They're
Okay.
France is very protective over their areas, and they only allow certain things by law.
Okay.
Pussies.
And it can be, but the Rhone Valley is the most unrestricted out of all of them. So,
Okay.
and I really like the grapes that they grow there. So, but I'm a red meat fan from way back, and
Yeah.
I love my lamb.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
okay.
So lamb and red Rhone wines are my favorite pairing.
Are you saying Rhone?
Yeah,
Rhone,
like
yeah.
Coast,
R-H-O-N-E.
Coast de Rhone.
Yep.
But how does that compare to like the Texas?
Cabernet Franc.
Yeah, no, the Coast de Rhone kind of blends that are done up in the, high plains. Is that what?
You're
Up
talking
in
about the
the
panhandle.
Panhandle?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, man, I really like those. I can't explain why. I like it in the same way I like Tempranillo and Sangiovese. It's like in Texas, that's a really dark, rich, meaty grape.
Spicy.
There's a reason for that. It's the climate. It's it's very similar to what they do in Upper Italy.
Okay.
Where they grow Sangiovese, and that's one of the big reasons what they grow the varietals that they do, is because of where they come from. So that's the biggest thing to learn about wine is when you have a wine that you really like, focus more on where it's from, because they'll usually only grow certain grape varietals there. But it's all about the climate of what and why they're growing them there. So that's
Gotcha.
So if you like something from Sonoma, more than likely other Sonoma wines are going to be what you really enjoy.
Yeah.
So focus on that.
You're here for business mostly, but we should try to get you down here
Oh,
again.
shit,
to
I
do
cussed.
some-
Oh, wait.
And you did it again. What I think we have everybody except for David. We put the disclaimer out. We're not professional, but we need to get you down here at some point again to do a tour of the wineries up north of here in Munster.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Screw that Alvord.
Yeah.
What's an Alford?
Makers.
What? Oh yeah,
Markers.
never mind. Hello,
Makers.
Makers.
I had Makers Mark stuck in my
Yeah,
mind.
he met Mark last night too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did meet him, Mark.
Yeah.
That's his winery right there.
Once you fly to Austin, are you there and then flying back to New Mexico, or are you coming back to DFW?
I had hopes to go to Fredericksburg, by the way, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah. Nice.
driving to San Antonio and flying out of San Antonio.
Okay, so once you leave here,
That's only about an hour away from San Antonio.
Man, you're
Yeah.
awful busy for being retired.
That's what I thought. I just posted on Facebook that I can't believe I'm doing this again, because everywhere I went before, I covered 13 states in my last
Yeah.
wine job. and because they're right next door to each other, West Virginia and Hawaii were 2 of those 13 states. So
That's impressive. You even say Hawaii like,
A non-Texan?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
How do you say July?
July.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Point for my side.
But how do you say June?
June.
See? It's the same you.
Same you.
Yeah.
July. No,
Okay, so you went back. So it's during COVID, and you have this Red River Brewery. Okay, that's kind of started its thing, and it's kind of branched off, and it's created Red River Distillery, right? You know, it's what made you decide to kind of pick things up and be like, okay, I'm going to re-engage.
There was a need, and it looked very cool to being at the ground level of something. I mean, they had been distilling then for a couple years, almost 2 years when I got involved, and I just thought it was a really cool opportunity.
How many seasons sucked during COVID for New Mexico, or did any?
Seasons?
Yeah, it's like, okay, so
Well,
you were up
because
there.
New Mexico kind of sucked during
yeah,
COVID.
you went.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were there. Remember? You
Yeah,
went
that's
up
right.
there,
I got
but
fed up. Had
try
to
to
go
make you wear
somewhere.
the mask on the trail.
Yeah. Yeah. They did.
Yeah.
Well, finance and I'm brilliant in that I bought a house during COVID.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, it's not a bad thing, right?
Oh
Like
no,
you-
it was a terrible thing.
You didn't get a good interest rate?
The interest rate was good.
Okay.
but I'm paying through the
Oh,
wazoo on
yeah,
what I
maybe.
bought. So
Right.
yeah. So, but the COVID was interesting for us. There,
Yeah.
I think everybody could say that.
yeah.
say the least.
It was pretty crazy.
We all learned a lot.
But it's kind of how I like. So if you look at it, without COVID, I don't know that we would not be here right now.
No, I agree with that statement.
Because
I do.
during
100%.
COVID, the whole reason
Yep.
why we started the whole video thing and where this came from was, man, how can we help these small little mom and pop shops?
I thought you were going to say because the bar was closed.
Well, that too.
Well,
The bars were open.
that's the good thing about Trinity Street.
Yeah,
It
in
was
Texas.
essential because it was a food establishment also. So the bar.
Texas didn't mess around. They were like, okay,
Yeah.
we were going to close some things, but the bars stay open, and you can take it to
and
go.
you can take it to
And
go.
liquor
now.
stores
See,
stay
we
open.
did that too, and that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because so now, I mean, you can just go in and order a to-go cocktail and take it and go, which is genius.
Some things about COVID stuck around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But it's also the like, if, excuse my language, right? This is a business podcast, but it's like we had to go through the fuckery to realize we went through fuckery.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well,
so
some
there's some
people had
values
to.
there.
Some people had to go through it to realize it. I think we called it up front that it was fuckery.
Yeah, we did, but we're better for it, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of people, maybe a lot of people
Yeah.
had their eyes open. I don't know.
Okay, are you better for getting your ass beat as a kid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, no doubt.
Right.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm
But I
kind of
don't-
better
I don't-
for getting my ass beat
Through COVID?
through COVID.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. You hadn't been better
You
to
had
us, though.
you had to see what sheep look like to know that you weren't going to be one.
If you want to say that. That's true.
But it did also highlight and showcase it directed people's attention back to small business, mom and pop enterprises.
That's valid.
Because if you weren't ordering from Amazon, it was like, these are the brick and mortar establishments that are open and really need your business.
Yeah.
And it did kind of bring people back to a communal
Yep.
element, like focus on your community first. And I guess we should state that Red River Brewery and Distillery is a small mom and pop owned enterprise.
That's right.
Yeah,
they
the Calhouns are who owns it, Michael and Sharon.
They take great pride in that too.
Yeah, they do.
As they should, because it's not an easy task. It's a lot of work.
Well, that was another reason also for starting with this, because it wasn't a board and it wasn't a company that was being traded on the market and whatnot. It was you could talk to the owners and do, and that's my boss is Michael.
The transparency is there.
Yeah.
We had a really good segment with a lot of local elected officials, even up to our state representation, which was really cool because it brought a human element back to these people and brought that transparency. Like, they're here. You can, if you want to make a change in the way you see the world, start with your town, with your community.
Yeah, it
first.
should be.
So, we like the transparency word on here a lot because it means a lot.
Well, when you're this white, you're practically transparent. Anyway, so.
Did y'all ever switch over to make hand sanitizer? Was that a thing?
No, I think they considered doing it and they did not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's and they could have very easily.
Sure.
But and I'm sure that they were using some of the byproducts for cleaning
Yeah.
locally. But that was right before I had started with them. So.
Okay. Well, next.
So next up, we're going in order, tasting profile. So we've got a white rum here. It's called Percopile, and all of our names are local to the area, either a place or people that that help establish Red River for what it is.
Hold it up. This is your camera here. If you want to bring that in.
Did you catch that? Can you see it?
Let's see if
Yeah, there it goes.
There
Yep.
it goes. Up a little bit. It's gonna try to
Focus on your face.
up.
There it
goes.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Percopile rum.
There we go.
Yep.
Percopile.
Perk
So
Kapow.
we just mentioned that we're in the mountains, right?
Sure.
And you know where rum comes from, right? The Caribbean.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
The mountains in the Caribbean, very similar areas,
Oh, okay.
or not.
Not.
Maybe not so much.
But again, we're producing these to be able to use them at the restaurant. And this is last night we talked about this. This pairs very favorably with another big company, Bacardi. Very, very similar, but it has a real bread yeasty finish quality on it that you don't get out of Bacardi. And when you're doing food and wine or food and spirits, besides just flavor profiles that we talked about, you can do mouthfeel. I have more success concentrating on the way it lays on your palate.
Yeah.
And this really lays heavy at the very end on your palate, which makes it a great.
That's yeasty. You know, it's like yeah.
You can smell it, bread yeast almost.
Yeah.
So this makes a great any of those Caribbean drinks. This makes a great option for those.
Yeah, and right from the nose, it's like back of the palate.
I get people tell me like green bananas, plantains on the palate, but the bread yeast is spot on for the nose.
Yeah, it is.
So no, we make another rum, a spiced rum. That this is the basis for it.
Okay.
And rum is made out of sugars or sugar cane or molasses or something like that. We were using originally another thing that Gavin had done. Originally, they were using blackstrap molasses, and it just came through too funky. And so he went to just plain cane sugar. White sugar is what we use, and it really gets a really cool finish on it.
And that's good old traditional rum. It's cane sugar.
There's a lot of spirits go in cycles. You know, they're really popular this year, next year, and then you don't see it for a while. And rum had its day probably about 5 years ago. Rums and agricole, and people were really getting into sipping rums from different parts of the Caribbean, and because again, where they're produced really has a big influence on how they taste. So
There's some late to the show spice that comes up. I'm talking like 10, 15 seconds after the taste. I don't exactly know what it is.
I can't pull spice out of there. It reminds me of some candy I had when I was a kid that I can't put my name on.
Yeah,
My
it's
finger
not
on.
quite licorice, and it's
Yeah, correct.
I don't know
But
what that would be.
Could be related.
Candy, licorice.
I don't know what that would be. An odd candy. I couldn't place it. It may have been before our time anyway.
What are you trying to say, bro?
He's 62 and I'm 40.
of course it's all subjective.
One of those weird 1960s candies.
Yeah.
It's not a very rum.
No, it's not really, and again because it's made in the mountains. It's not made at sea level, so it's going to have an effect on it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not a bad thing either.
Oh, it's not a bad thing
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
that's great. I was
That's,
trying to remember what that was paired with last night.
I mean, God knows.
We had the white rum first, right?
What was with the ceviche?
The white rum
Was that
first?
Yeah.
Was that the rum?
Wasn't it Bacanora with ceviche?
Oh, it was. That's right. It was.
Let me see if I can
But
find a picture while y'all are
the
talking.
rum was like we tasted it third or something like that.
Yeah.
It was on the second table. What was the salmon puff pastry? What was that?
That was number 2. The puff was number
Was
2.
it?
That
Was
was
that
the
with the
gin.
gin? Yeah,
that was
with
gin.
the gin.
Because we went vodka gin.
That was spectacular.
It was.
Wow.
Yeah, it went vodka gin. What was the?
Ooh,
what was
it was this the agave spirit? Okay. Quesadillas were the agave spirit.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
and then the what's the other one with the other plant? The spoon.
The Sotol.
So tall.
Yeah.
So those two were. That's 4 and 5.
Does anybody see a picture of what
3
might
and
be the
4.
rum?
No, but I see some boobies.
Wait, what?
No, I'm joking.
That's chances. Other foul.
How did that get thrown in there?
Click
What
on
is-
this one
Wait.
here. Oh, yeah.
There it is, the rum. So it was with the Thai.
The Thai.
The Thai
Oh,
food.
there we go.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. That
Yeah.
that is right.
Yeah, because the rye was with the pork.
Okay. Yeah, pork pile rum with
Yeah.
the Thai curry. What do you call this? Not chow mein, Jesus.
Noodles.
Noodles, but not pho.
Pho.
What's the
Pho.
other
not pho.
direction?
Curry.
Ramen.
Ramen. Thank
Ramen.
you. Thank you. Good Lord, ramen.
It was effing delicious.
It
I
was.
think is what you call it. That was spectacular.
That's cool.
My favorite of the night was the ceviche, though. That stuff was fucking
Dude, the
What's
phenomenal.
special about the ceviche?
It was just good,
The
which I
pairing.
love ceviche.
The
But the
pairing
pairing was also
No, don't
great.
tell him anything. If he wants to know these
That's
things,
right. Show up.
Show up to these
Quit being-
events.
Quit being a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
This
gotcha.
Friend host.
Uh-huh.
It's only like the fourth event of mine he's
That is
missed.
missed.
Okay, so
Now let's change
I
the
am
subject.
changing the subject. Yeah, never mind. You were talking about the cycles. Okay, so that spirits take, and they get away and they get fancy, and somehow I think we worked ourselves into a coconut rum kind of situation here.
Yeah, does it? I can't do coconut rum.
No.
No.
And I love coconut.
And then you go into like specs, and 60% of the aisle is taken up by these effed up versions of rum. Pineapple rum, cotton candy rum. It's all these different types, and now I think
Well, same with vodka now too.
real rum. Yeah, same with vodka. It's starting to kind of break through and kind of get back to the way
I hope
rum's
you're
supposed
right.
to be.
Hope so. Yeah.
So, but the other thing about spirits also is, in a similar manner, they're very regional also. So, we met with a specs buyer, and he said, we don't sell enough rum to make it even worth my even trying this. Rum is not a big thing here. And in New Mexico, what we sell out of our portfolio is the vodka and our different agave items.
Yeah, interesting.
Because that's New Mexico. But here, there's a rumor that you guys drink a lot of bourbon. Is that true?
Yeah, we drink a lot of bourbon.
Some.
Guilty.
Some.
Guilty.
So-
Rye's making a worthy show.
And I'm a rye fan. So, which
We may
actually
have some.
brings us up to the next one, which is our tequila or our version of tequila.
Closer.
Move it to your left. There, cover your face. There it is. There.
Oh,
There she
cover
is.
your face.
Yeah, the camera's trained
like
to focus on faces.
Yeah,
so-
well, that's not the first time I've been told that.
Cover your face up.
Yeah, the old bag trick. So obviously, you can't call tequila tequila if it's not made in certain states in Mexico. So we just call it agave spirit. We get blue agave. We buy it as a syrup out of Jalisco. And we make it up in the mountains of Red River, and you'll find that this comes across and it's not an official spirits word, but everybody uses it, so I throw it out there, smooth, because you really can't define smooth. It means the lack of something, the lack of an alcohol hit or bite.
That's a profound thought, right?
So I
there.
really like the agave spirit name, but I want to throw something at you, and y'all can steal this and run
What
with
is
it if
the
you
agave
want.
spirit? Cabresto Canyon.
Yeah, and you can run with it. It's Elon's. I'm stealing it from his
You
ideas.
said his name right. For
Elon's.
once.
Yeah. So he created a flamethrower.
Flamethrower?
Flamethrower, but the name of it is not a flamethrower.
Not a tequila.
So just
Yeah.
a new name if y'all want to use
Okay,
it. Is
just
not
throwing it out
tequila.
there.
That is not a bad
tequila.
idea.
Yeah.
What would truly happen though if you said if you called it a tequila?
The cartel would come after
They
you.
get
Yes.
you get a
Oh,
knock
yeah.
on the door like, "Hey, senor,
Yeah, come
change-
with us.
Yeah,
They could sue us,
okay.
and
Oh,
they would win in patent court.
I
Now
would, I would take a lawsuit over a visit with the cartel for sure.
Yes.
Now we've got some other issues down the line on here that we could change a name and get away with it just because they haven't protected their name legally. Like
But
they do with
tequila is
tequila.
definitely protected.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's almost as same with Scotch, right?
Same with scotches. Same with champagne is always the big
Oh,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
They're the first people that did anything in that manner to call an area. Say that's our
Champagne,
brand
yeah.
name basically is our area. So you can't.
But same thing
this-
with bourbon, right? Or it was.
No, bourbon's
No,
very
now
American.
you can have a bourbon anywhere.
Well,
but
you
wouldn't
can't
it
have
just
a Kentucky bourbon.
Kentucky.
okay?
Or Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah.
But used to it was
Bourbon was
bourbon
from
had to
Kentucky.
come from Kentucky, but
Yeah.
I don't know when that
somebody
changed.
busted through those.
I would
chains.
still be fine with that. But the thing about Scotch is, if you go to Scotland and order a Scotch, they're going to go, "It's a fucking whiskey."
Yeah,
You don't call
Yeah,
it
they
a
don't.
Scotch.
Yeah,
over
they don't
there.
call it Scotch there.
Yeah, no, that's interesting you say that because it's whiskey is the larger name overall for bourbon, Scotch, rye,
spirits.
Yeah, that type of spirit.
And I say that in like the true essence of a Scotsman because I've hung around a couple of them and they like to they throw down some pirate talk.
Yeah.
They they make me blush.
They can throw down some whiskey too.
Yes, they can.
So what is, getting into the vernacular, there's a word for you, the vernacular of it, it's like, is the rum that we just had a whiskey?
No. It has to be grain based, first of all.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So, and you can make spirits from just about anything that will produce sugar.
Yeah.
And starch obviously converts to sugar. So, you're basically in the spirits process. You're making a wine and then you're cooking it, and then the distilling process is working out all the excess water.
Okay. So basically, you have whiskey that comes from rye, barley, wheat, and those a portion of those are your bourbons.
Correct.
Right? And they're aged in any different manner, but your rum, your gin, your brandy, your vodka are not whiskeys.
Correct.
Okay, just making sure I understand this right. And you would think, I'm a whiskey bro, I'm 103 episodes in, but that I would have a sense of this, but it's interesting to hear you talk about that.
Well, but in our country, we don't grow up drinking these things as children like they do in Europe. Mm-hmm. They cut everything with water, especially wine, and it's always paired with food. And then we wonder why we have a problem with alcoholism in this country.
Yeah.
It's because when I turned 18, I went and got a bottle of booze and sucked it down, and don't remember the rest of my birthday. So.
We weren't brought up with an upbringing of respecting it.
Right.
Yeah.
However, we could have a 40-minute conversation on the differences between Coke and Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we grew up drinking that.
Oh yeah, that's a valid point.
And the 40,000 ingredients in the box of cereal on the shelf. So that's okay. If you go back through our library, we touch a lot on industrial food issues a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to embarrass you, but I think it's pronounced library.
Library. In our library of 103 episodes.
You're right. Anybody that says July should say library.
I'll take out the R next time. I'm sorry.
Library.
I am sorry. So before we spoke about familiarity with other popular brands such as Bacardi, I've had somebody, Matt, who is with us, by the way, living, just never
Still.
around, once again, compare this to Socorro Blanco. And a lot of people in the tequila realm are familiar with that. And I guess if you know that, then you would like our agave spirit.
And again, to me, that's the key word for smooth.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have a huge bite off of it. So I've actually had a bar owner tell me, you make a margarita with this, and his customers are not happy because they don't feel the burn.
Sure.
Okay.
And again, it's people my age. We grew up with nothing but Cuervo.
Okay.
And you definitely feel the burn.
At Trinity, they will make you an espresso martini with this, and it's life shattering. Like you would never have an espresso coffee based anything to me, and think an agave spirit would go good with this, but you're wrong because it works.
See,
right.
You know what that says to me? That says to me, at least in this environment here in Decatur, Texas, that the tequila and agave like products, they may be the next step on the tour of specialty drinks, and because it takes bartenders and mixologists to really get behind something to really make that jump to where it's uber popular, and they're doing other things like making an espresso martini with agave as opposed to vodka.
That's interesting.
So I have hopes because I love agave and agave spirits.
Yeah, we love our mixologists too. Here, can you dump the rest of that? I mean, I'm just kind of saving my palate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can bitch out if you want to, bro.
Yeah, cool.
He doesn't have to. He has to walk home. That's all
That's true.
That's right.
That's true.
No, I have to drive. I brought my
Sorry,
vehicle.
you have to drive 200 yards in an off-road
It's
vehicle.
more like
crawl
200 feet.
Well, next up we're going to do his favorite, which is it's
It
our
is my
gin.
favorite.
Bingo. My love bros.
See, and this is a new thing.
I'm excited for
right?
Doc to try this.
Well,
This is a new thing.
This was the gin had its what am I doing? Gin had its
Don't pour it in
heyday.
that one.
Had its heyday about 3 to 4 years ago, at least in the big cities.
Yeah.
In New Mexico, we tend to get things 2, 3, sometimes 4 years later than everybody else. So it's been doing very well in our home state. for a while. But this is not your father's gin. Like a lot of foods, the foods that have become really popular for a while. If you're in a northern Italian, ossobuco, that was the worst cut of meat that you could possibly get. It was tough as hell. So you had to braise it to make it even edible. And now it's become this lifted. One of the best things you can get out of that type of cuisine.
Yeah.
Gin was the same. You've heard of bathtub gins because people were making gin in the 40s in their bathtub. And they didn't even have Mr. Bubble at that time to take care of.
But this is not the same thing. Like I said, it's not your father's gin. Actually, I think that's a product out of Acre. Is that right?
I
It's
don't
not
remember.
your father's root beer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
But this, like the gins now, the very specialty gins are very juniper. They're not. They're made with local flowers.
Yeah.
Right. Local.
Now
floral
it has to
elements.
have juniper in it to be called a gin. But people are really backing off of that and featuring those other things, those other flavor profiles in it.
I gotcha.
All right, Doc, shut up and try that.
Yeah. I mean, I love
So
gin. I
very
just love
very
gin.
citrusy
It's got to
on the
be my
nose.
favorite.
Very, very citrus on the nose.
Yeah, a lot of citrus. But I get like mountain sage,
Yeah.
juniper.
So up in northern New Mexico, we have a lot of sage, which was not native up there, but it is everywhere now. And it's not the same sage that you cook with your turkey, but it's very when it rains up there, which is not that often, the whole desert smells like this
Smells like it,
tastes.
yep.
So at the very back of your palate, you get that sage comes through, and that's because we use sage.
Yeah.
God, I hate to debauch this too, but you ready for some level of debauchery?
Uh-oh.
Always.
Are you ready?
Are you going to keep your clothes on?
Yeah, no.
If you knew
we're not
this,
even halfway
just
down
wait.
the-
If you knew this,
And
man,
you might need to. Yeah, that's true. You might need to cleanse your palate for this. Have you already finished your gin? You might need to cleanse your palate for this one.
oh man,
Okay, think,
I don't know what's about to happen.
think, Fruity Pebbles.
That's Heath's absolute most favorite cereal.
I could probably eat some Fruity Pebbles with that, but
Yeah.
It's very on the back end. It's very fruity.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could go with Fruity Pebbles.
Non-flavor characteristics though.
I
This has a nice like dance on your tongue.
Oh, it is.
And it's only 80 proof, but it has like this nice little tingle.
I love these
so
gins.
the other
these
gin
smaller
that we
distilleries are putting out.
the other gin that we tried before was good, but it just went flat.
It kind of did.
This stays on
Yeah.
your tongues and gives a little zing.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on in the back of the palate. Just stays there,
There
and
is.
stays there, and stays there.
it's a happy dance.
Yeah.
It's a happy dance
yeah.
with like fairies and shit.
You're gonna tell Michael
You
they're
know?
gonna have to rename it to Happy Dance Gin. Right?
Well,
yeah, it's
the
so
Millette
good.
brothers were a key group of brothers, and the Millette family is still in the area, and miners up in Red River. So
Is it a road? Millette Road?
You're thinking of Millette.
there is a road up there called Millette.
That's
Okay.
the main one that goes between Greeny Peak and back to Cuesta.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But do you need a 4x4 to,
No, not really.
No, that's
Okay.
so nice.
Not
That's
unless
so
it's
nice.
winter.
like
time.
it's the actual road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would. It's a quality of our county roads around here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
People need to know that, like, if you get into a good gin, it's a fairly complex spirit for sure. It's not a single.
Yeah.
It's got a lot to offer.
It's been elevated, and that's why it was so popular with mixologists for a while, is because you could do so many things because there are
Sure.
so many new gins coming out.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I'm a huge gin and tonic fan. I used to really love Hendrick's just because it was so different from all the gins
Yep.
that were out during that day. So a summertime gin and tonic is my favorite, and I found with this, because of the citrus, that are you familiar with key limes, like key lime pie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So they're tiny and they're really acidic, and they really bring out the quality of the gin if you use that. And then I'm a Fever Tree mix fan. So Fever Tree makes a ton of different tonics, and they've got a Mediterranean tonic that's slightly salty.
So you have to go to like Specs to find something like Fever Tree.
Yeah, you do.
Right? Order
Yeah.
off Amazon.
Is that
Shit. I keep pointing to these corporate interests like Fruity Pebbles now Amazon.
Whose side are you
Sorry.
on?
I know.
is that the Dave Matthews? No, that's he has a wine that he has endorsed, Dreaming Tree. Did you ever have that? It's a Dave Matthews Band.
I have had it. I didn't know that he owned it. But
Okay.
it's targeted for $9.99 on the grocery shelf.
Okay, gotcha. Well, Dave did it good for $9.99.
That tells you something.
I like
Well,
it.
that's what you're after. If that's the key buying segment. More women in America buy wine than men.
Okay.
And they do it at the grocery store. So that's why That's why they're shooting for that.
God, we're gonna have to-
grocery store.
Gosh, this is so
This is for
interesting.
Doc.
Yeah, he'll drink it.
If you truly take that and analyze it, I tell some truth there, right?
That's why all the wine companies have marketing people.
We're gonna have to, after this, if we can walk, we're gonna have to go down to the house and pop open that bottle of a lightning cab I have and let him try it.
Oh yes, for sure. That's a Marker Sellers that
yeah.
you met last night.
Oh, okay.
Who
It's
owns
their-
the place in Bridgeport and the vineyard in Alford?
Well, if we're going to go to wine after this, we're going to have to walk on our tippy toes. or
Yeah.
else
But
I'm not
everybody, okay, so the grain-based spirits seem to have kind of like a rawness to them, right? And it's not that this is a fruity, like
Decadent.
Yeah, it's a good way. You know, it's like, so people who are kind of turned off by grain-based spirits should probably try these fruitier gins.
Sure.
Well, so
Sure.
so on the gin, and it was really eye opening, I guess. So when we had his tasting thing at
Yeah.
Ader, I think we probably sold 6 people.
Oh,
That gin that came in and was like, I hate gin. I'm not a gin drinker. I
Oh,
will
yeah.
not drink it again.
Everybody.
We finally just bullshitting on you
Sure.
know how we do. Got them to taste it. Walked out with a bottle of it.
I just
Yeah.
have to. I'm getting to the point where like I've tried to sell them on, and it's not just at Trent. It's any tasting. And they come, I'm not a gin drinker. I just want to be like,
Hold on. Do you actually touch your lips?
let me
Yeah.
let me not talk about this. Let me just pour you a little bit, and you try it, and then they do, and they're like, wow.
Yeah, because there was 2 ladies that came in there that it took us a while before they would actually try it. I mean,
Yeah.
they were a no. Well, they tried everything else. Last thing, they had a bottle of
And they're just like, this is amazing.
no, they had a bottle of vodka that they pulled off the shelf, in hand, and then they came over,
And then tried the
tried
gin.
everything, and then they were like, nah, we ain't drinking that
Yeah.
gin. We're not. Tried the gin, went and put the vodka back up.
But not shitty gin. Like, you don't move to shitty gin.
There is shitty gin. Yeah.
There is.
There
yeah.
is. Okay, so could it be said?
As of everything else, there's shitty everything out there, but
Okay, maybe this is incorrect. Tell me if it's incorrect. I think it might be. But if you're the type of person that has to always put water in your whiskey, then you should maybe try some of these higher end gins.
well, it depends on what you're putting water in your whiskey for.
Yeah, I don't know. We
'Cause,
know
you
those
know,
types.
you
We
get-
don't get them.
Some people think it's too hot. Some people
no,
think that
well-
they want to open it up.
Yes, that's where I was going to go. So there are those
Okay.
people out there
It
that
really changes the quality of what you're tasting.
Yeah.
And the profile.
yeah.
Yeah.
But in the past, especially in America, men drank the
Yeah.
bourbons and the rye
Right.
and
Yeah.
whatnot, whereas women looked at vodkas and gin was kind of in the middle. That was nobody would really touch it for quite some time. But
Just one of those
but that's
interesting
changed.
elements.
That's changed a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from the wine world, women normally have a much better palate than most men do, just on an average.
Yeah.
They can taste more things.
I mean, secretly, they're just better, period. But,
They're certainly better looking.
yeah.
I love you guys, you know that, but staring at
Yeah.
your face is
Terrible.
Sure. I get it.
difficult.
You want to yell at us? Cover your face up.
Now, my wife is a super taster. There are people that have more receptors on their tongue per area than most others do, and they're very susceptible to bitter. And so she drinks in the morning. She has a little bit of coffee with her cream and sugar, not much, but mostly cream and sugar because bitter really overreacts with her. She doesn't like that. So
How does she like cilantro?
she has no problems.
No problems with
Yeah.
it. So it's not that thing.
No.
You know, some
Yeah.
people.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were telling me last night you like Basil Hayden's, right?
I love Basil Hayden.
Do you ever get cilantro, like soapy notes out of that?
No.
I've had more than one people tell me they
I
But
do.
I'll bet the people that don't like cilantro for that reason because
that
they
up.
taste soapy.
okay.
But I don't get
because
Basil Hayden.
I get the soap out of the Basil Hayden's.
I get
but
a
I
little
love
bit of mint.
cilantro. Some mint.
Yeah, like mint family out of it.
Shit, that gin is damn good.
Dude,
It's like,
I'm telling you.
You should, if you're listening to this,
Well, you
need
got
to
a
go
whiskey.
pick up a
You got a
bottle.
whiskey bro that loves it better than whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Since
Yeah,
they-
me too.
it's phenomenal.
Since they threw us so
Yeah.
much love, Chris Leon at Trinity crafted a cocktail called Rosemary's Baby in lieu of the holiday season.
I had one
Or in
last
honor.
night.
Yeah.
It was spectacular.
So go get you one of those.
Unfortunately,
Trinity
she had
Mayweather
to have a
gin.
miscarriage though, and it was a bad thing.
Oh my god.
Rosemary's fetus.
Dude, okay.
Man, we are certainly canceled now.
I can't wait till he hears that.
It's not so bad to be canceled. I just lost my job.
Yeah.
Dick.
Okay.
So
maybe Calhoun's not listening.
Yeah, right.
we can hope. So next up, so this is really colorful, cool label.
It is.
We had some agave-like stuff that we thought about carving off as a second label, and this is one of those. This is Bacanora, and this is just like whiskey refers to a lot of different things from a lot of different places. Agave and agave-like stuff. Mezcal can be made all over Mexico, and and each little state has their own kind of a focus on it, and they're different type of agave that they use. So this comes from Sonora in Mexico.
And so somebody that's really into agave do you think they can detect regionality?
And that's a very interesting question, because that's only very, very recently that people could taste multiples and be able to tell you where they're from. But yes, they can now.
But the nose on this is extremely pervasive. As soon as you open the bottle, it's there.
Yeah.
But
now, having said that, this is not even available in Texas right now.
we're working on it.
Yeah,
we're working on it. People want it. I mean, I'm telling you, people.
Oh
want
yeah. See, I can get behind that all day long.
We gotta. Bring in our Donald Trump. Everybody wants it. I tell you, it's like the most. Everybody wants it.
So most people equate mezcal with smoke.
Sure.
And you don't get that out of this. That you don't have to do it. It's part of the process where they're burying the piñas and roasting them.
It's very interesting because you're right, and people do equate that with smoke, but it's not about smoke at all.
Yeah, well, our next one will. It'll smoke you away, but this one is not. So you get the smoke can be overpowering, and usually is, and so people think mezcal, and they think, I don't want to try it in the same manner you were just talking about gin and that juniper action, but this has got a lot more going on, and it's a lot more delicate in the rear.
This to me is more.
I've been. Somebody's told me that before about myself.
Okay, so
delicate in the rear.
Delicate in the rear.
So maybe we need to. Okay, so if there were a call to action on this episode, it's like go, but people are not going to be able to buy this yet. It's like go pick up everything.
Well, you can
from
you
Red River,
have to go to Red
and
River.
then listen to this episode.
Yeah.
And I hate people can't try this with us.
Well, ask for it too, because
right?
the more demand you have on in the retail level, the more they're going to be bugging the distributor. And the more the distributor's going to go,
in.
Okay, maybe we need to sell that here.
You know, that's something people don't realize is they've got all the power when it comes to a retailer. Retailers die to know what you're going to buy from them. They would give their eye tooth to know that, because they don't want to have to employ people just to stand out there and have to sell all day long. They want things that people are going to buy. So that's why you get a lot of those big brands, because people. It's the reason McDonald's does so well. They're the same all the time, and people get on it, and they know what to expect. So you get a big brand in spirits, the same thing happens.
I think they make themselves addicting too. It's like they know how to press all the right buttons in all the right ways.
Yeah.
2 a.m, you go through there like Jack in the Box or whatever, and you pick up those tacos, and it's it
might be happening after this episode.
Yeah, it's like oozing down your hand while you're like sticking it in your mouth, right? And then you crunch into it. But
at
you
2
don't
a.m,
crunch.
it could just be a spoonful of salt, and
maybe that's what it
good.
is. And they there's nothing to it, but this man is pressing all the right buttons at that time, right? And so I get McDonald's.
Yeah, I do too.
But fuck,
I don't tell anybody I do, but I do.
Yeah, I know,
Couldn't
right?
tell you the last time I've been to McDonald's.
We shouldn't support them.
Were you part of pioneering all of these? Who starts a distillery and goes, I want to make 9 spirits?
That's a good question.
Nobody.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, no, I had very little. As a matter of fact, Gavin, our distiller, and Michael, if they find that there's something available, somebody says, hey, what do you think of? That's, we got started with agave spirit. Because the syrup was available. So our supplier that gives us that said, hey, we've got some traditional Bacanora that if you guys were interested in, you could bring it up to the mountains, and you could proof it down with your water, and you guys could still set it up as a Bacanora, and it's a traditional Bacanora because it's actually made in Sonora. So we're not making that from scratch. We're proofing it down with our water. So, but we do get to say, hey, we prefer more smoke, less smoke, and they make it to our recipe for us. So we've got those two, and the next item, the Sotal, we're going to taste also is done the same way.
Was it Michael or like a round table? Just everybody was probably eating a salad and not drinking or smoking anything. How do they make a decision to come to 9 different spirits they want to offer?
Well, it's a one at a time. Hey, we don't make this. What do you think? Is there a market for it? Number one, could there be a market for it? And then we have to start with price and say what do we, and then you go backwards and say what do we want the label to look like? Because you can see these are not. They're similar. They're the same shape, but one is very colorful and the other one is much more staid. So there's a lot that goes into it, and then you have to go through and get it approved by each state where you're going to sell it as well. So there's a lot to it.
That begs the question: what states are these products available in at the moment?
Texas, New Mexico.
I have a buddy that lives in Colorado, just a suburb west of Denver, and he's like, "Oh, can I drive down the store?" I said, I don't think we're in Colorado.
Sorry, England.
Yet.
You can't have it.
We do. Oh, yeah. We should tell David that like almost 40% of our downloads come from Great Britain now. That's
really,
yeah.
Wow.
We can't explain it.
Somehow we stuck over there.
We love you, blokes.
Yeah,
we love you.
And we know that y'all drink whiskey and not Scotch, so we do know that.
Bourbon.
So yeah, not in Colorado, but you can drive. If you are in Colorado, you can drive down to San Luis, and I believe there's a store. No, San Luis is in Colorado. You have to come to Cuesta, and they're
what's the one just north of that?
There's one in Raton. If you're coming, I know you can get it in Raton.
Yep. But what is it? I can't.
There's Rio Castillo.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
that's still in New Mexico.
It is.
Okay,
it is.
Gotcha.
But if you're going to go that far, you might as well come to Red River and have lunch.
Yeah, absolutely. Stop the brewery, have beer, have lunch, talk with the owners. They're probably going to be around.
Go to the tasting room and get it all for free.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too, is we've got the brewery is at the restaurant in Red River, and then up at the distillery we have a small tasting room that we're only open during the busy seasons. But they do higher end cocktails, and it's all focused on the distillery products.
Okay. In the state of New Mexico, how many distilleries are there?
I don't know the number, but
can't be that many.
But the laws are weird in New Mexico. For a long time, you did not have to distill there to call yourself a distillery.
Oh,
but there is a distillery
kind of like
guild
winemaking.
That it can be. So they changed that, but what they still haven't changed is you don't have to brew beer to be called a brewery. But so there is a guild and they're talking about getting it changed. But there's a lot of people that represent other people's beers and call themselves a brewery that don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Okay. I see. But prominent names in the Rocky Mountains: Stranahan's in Colorado.
Yep.
High West out of Utah. Other than that,
Breckenridge Distillery is they do some good stuff up there.
Okay, I've not heard. I've heard of Breckenridge Brewery. But New Mexico, it's going to be Red River. Like I don't know anybody else from the Rockies.
There's a Santa Fe distillery that does a good job.
Yeah.
There's one in Taos. There's one in Las Cruces, where I'm from, and they've actually got a tasting room up in Taos.
Okay.
Called Dry Point. They're kind of interesting. They do some animal critters on their labels.
Are they relatively new?
Yes, they are. They're not any older than we are, to my knowledge.
Okay.
And they also make a Sotal there.
Oh, okay.
Which they just started about a year ago.
Is that what we're moving to?
That is our next one. So this is the mezcal that I was mentioning that's really smoky. So if you're not a fan of smoke, if you don't like island scotches, which are usually very typically smoky, you're probably not going to like this.
Okay, I'm interested.
But you should try it, and you should pair it with any sort of red meat.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Dude, it was in your words, Doc, serendipitous. I had some leftover brisket that I was trying this. I'm like, I want a little
I think
sip
I
of
always say
Sotal.
synchronicitous, not serendipitous.
Whatever you want to say.
Okay.
Okay. But for tonight, we'll call it serendipitous.
Okay, keep going. Keep going.
But I had this with some brisket, and I thought, this is the most amazing thing I've ever had. And then lo and behold, the next day, Chef Michael at Trinity says, we're pairing this with tri-tip. And it is such an amazing pairing.
Oh, shit.
If you don't like red meat, but you like smoky agave spirits, you're probably going to like red meat all of a sudden. If you like red meat but don't like smoky agave spirits, you're going to
I'm getting the notes from here. This is like a foot away from my face.
And you can still,
Yeah.
it's hitting you.
Smell it.
Yeah.
Some for you? No.
No.
Okay, so have you ever had a lamb brisket?
I have not had lamb brisket.
Okay,
That sounds
you need
like
to try lamb brisket.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so we have a local restaurant. What's that place called in Fort Worth? The Woodshed?
Woodshed. Yep. It's
Yeah.
a Tim Love. So we are headed down to Lonesome Dove tomorrow for dinner. Meeting up with
fuck you.
another rep.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, you start inviting me to places like
Okay, next
Grace.
time you come down, let's go to the Woodshed, and
I'm
we'll have
good
some
with
lamb
that.
brisket.
How many times have you been invited to go to the Woodshed with Don?
Yeah, I don't-
Has
You're
the
not
show-
as cool as this guy.
My dad has invited me to the Woodshed, but that was a different thing
Different
altogether.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you like lamb and you like smoky things.
Oh, yeah.
And so the two definitely pair well together. And Tim Love, go figure. I don't think it was his idea. Surely they've cooked a brisket on a lamb before, but maybe
sure.
they just do like peppercorn or whatever. They don't smoke it like Texas smoke.
Yeah, that could be.
But it's a match made in heaven.
Tim Love is going to
Well,
know about this product tomorrow.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
This screams to me as elk being hunting
sure.
season. I
Yeah.
would love.
Over in a canvas tent on the
Yeah, with that
on the
leather
foothill,
saddle.
on the prairies of the foothill with a campfire.
Yeah, I can smell the gunpowder right now.
Well, you know the canvas tent smell. That's.
Yeah, okay.
Do you
yeah.
get that out of here, or is that just me
No,
being crazy?
I can see
That
it.
is so interesting.
I was just thinking of a visual aesthetic after a hard day out and sitting out on the foothills and the prairie and campfire, canvas tent, and sipping on this and eating some elk. Oh, yeah.
Well, now I'm hungry.
Now you want to drink some Sotol?
No, I want
It
a
is.
steak. I want a
Okay.
steak.
It's not quite boot store.
Not quite there.
Not quite boot store.
When we first started getting into like craft spirits or high end spirits, we were sitting around. I think it was with Big Josh. At
Yeah, it
Trinity.
was.
And we were sitting around and talking about.
It was actually Casey that made the beverage.
Yeah, we were talking about
Yeah.
tasting notes and profiles, and Doc rattles off, "This reminds me of a boot store," and it was just crickets. Everybody looked at him like, "Okay."
But I'd have to rushing to his side. I'd say there's a very specific smell in a boot store. That if you don't love that, then
Yeah, it's kind of like
then
puppies.
you're
and,
drinking vodka.
and mountains. Yeah, I got you.
So you don't like this at all?
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I just had 9 tastings yesterday also.
Yeah, I could really. Okay, when this becomes available in Texas.
This one is
This,
available.
this one
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
The Bacanora is not.
I could sit around and just enjoy a glass of this for a really long time.
So
Right?
not only is this available in Texas, but there's a kind of a famous distillery in Texas that makes a Sotol because these little cactuses they grow all over West Texas and Las Cruces, where I grew up. And this is the one that I was telling you about that you could call officially right now that the Sotol name, to my knowledge, is not protected like all the others are.
Gotcha.
Because it is the name of the plant, number one, which is unusual. And they used to think it was in the agave family, so that would make it a mezcal. But they did some DNA on it not long ago and realized that it is not in the agave family, which means it's not technically a mezcal, but they've grandfathered them in because they've been calling it mezcal for so long. So,
Now, are all those Sotols going to be boot store-ish?
no, you can. Again, it's the recipe and what you do with it
Yeah.
that really makes the flavor come through on how they want it.
So this specific one, I could sit around because I can just nurse that nose. I just coined a term.
Nurse the
that
nose. Yeah.
Yeah. Nurse that nose and just smell it. It's like smell it 10 times before I even take a sip.
And there
right?
are a lot of wines you can do that with and whatnot. I always
Yeah.
thought that if you were smart, you would do something along the lines of making a what is a man's perfume called?
Musk.
I must.
Cologne.
A cologne. Thank
cologne,
you.
yeah.
You could make
Yeah.
a cologne out of this or something like
Yeah,
this.
you really
And you
could.
could call it boot store. It would sell like crazy.
Damn.
Introducing from Red River Distillery. You know them for their spirits, but have you heard of their men's cologne called Boot Store? Find it at a Neiman's near you.
Yeah, it was coined here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to trademark
We're
that.
gonna have to patent
do you
that.
have a double labeled come and go hat on? Is that what's going on here? You have a
What do you
label,
mean?
and you have a badge on your hat.
What?
On your hat, man.
Really?
Take it off and look at it. Come and go. You know, you probably ought to put that in a safe because they are changing the name.
What?
Yep, they are changing the name. I don't know when it's going to happen, but there was a big.
I love this. My mother-in-law gave me this hat.
Yeah, it was a big BuzzFeed article about it.
Yeah.
That they're going to be changing the
Shit,
name.
I will be sticking this in the safe.
Why?
It might have had sexual connotations.
Come and go.
They
What do you
caught
mean?
on amongst people that have fragile little warped minds.
I don't get it. Come and go.
Yeah,
It's like, is it the come or the go? It's like,
both,
what
maybe.
part of that is sexual?
I don't know, man. I cannot comment.
Isn't that also called marketing brilliance? I mean,
Exactly. Everybody knows about come and go.
yeah.
Okay,
Everyone.
I don't get it, but whatever. I'll stick it in the safe.
So
Yeah.
so that was the last of our white liquors. So as you saw, we
Wow.
started with the vodka and we ended with
You
that.
have an
You can see how much
expansive collection, 3 of which are agave connected.
based. Yep.
Yeah. So, but it's New Mexico, you know?
That's
so
kind of
you
the
do.
idea.
it makes sense.
Yeah. That's how I see it. So now we've got a couple of whiskeys, and then we'll finish with our big rum that we were talking about earlier, which is they use the Percopile as a base for that.
I'm going to really have to rinse my glass out after that last one.
And that's I usually stick with one glass for all the whites and one glass for the
gotcha.
for these. So yeah,
Segregation,
rinsing it
I
out
like
is
it.
not a bad idea.
Sorry, we're not professional here. So
No,
you
we're
get
not.
one glass and you better
Yeah.
like it, and you better hope it doesn't break.
I grabbed the wrong one.
You have to drink out of the bottle.
So when the big bourbon
missed
craze hit when I was living in Chicago, I tried to get into bourbon, and I've always loved rye.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big still not a huge bourbon fan. I like that spicy quality, I think is what it is that you get from rye.
Do we still have a bottle
So
of
is this the
so-called
only rye?
back- Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I didn't clean my glass out, and all I can smell is so tall.
Yep,
Okay.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I could still smell it, and I didn't even have any. It's just all from y'all's.
You didn't have any?
No.
Okay.
Yep, this one's still.
You gotta walk home?
I've already rinsed it.
Well, the
too.
only thing I've had today was a half of a sushi roll, so I got to take it easy.
Why did you only eat half?
Because my wife ate the other half.
You only buy one per couple?
Well, when I'm paying $100 to a lady that
Okay,
slaves
that's better.
drives me in the gym, yes, I try to watch what I eat.
Yeah, but it's sushi. It's good for you.
It is.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. We're not having that debate. It's good
No.
for you.
What is the?
I mean, why do you say that?
What's in it that's
It
not?
has fish and rice.
Rice.
Rice is a good carb.
Yeah.
Not
Is
white,
it?
not white rice.
No, because they bleach that shit.
You guys,
I mean, okay.
you guys are
But
killing
if that's the only thing you eat is a half a roll during
Breaking
the
my
day,
balls
tell
here.
me
No,
something
No,
that's bad.
Okay, so, valid. Half a roll. But whenever I go eat whiskey,
Why
right?
would you eat whiskey?
Jesus Christ, I meant sushi. Okay. Wow. Maybe I should slow my roll.
We're
Yeah,
all
right.
sitting around the table
Slow
drinking
your sushi
alcohol.
roll.
Yeah, we're
So
just
when I go
eating
eat
it.
sushi, naturally I don't have half a roll, right?
Yes.
But
No, naturally we have 4 rolls.
Yeah. a
I feel
piece.
like shit for like a day and a half.
Really?
How's that possible?
So you don't eat rice at any other time then?
Not really.
How is that
According to
possible?
sushi. Your
Because
gut's not
anytime you
used to
eat
it.
Chinese food or Asian food, period, you're full for 45 minutes.
I don't call it healthy though. I
It
call
all goes away after that. And you're
indulgence.
hungry again.
It's like I look at that Asian meal, whether it's sushi or it's ramen or it's
wrong with ramen?
hibachi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at it and I go, okay, that's an indulgence. So I'm not calling it healthy.
But it's broth.
What do you mean indulgence? Chinese food is an indulgence?
You want to help me out?
Yeah, don't
Indulgence sounds like dessert to me. 'cause
right.
that's-
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's so I allow myself to pig out on the sushi, but it makes me feel like shit. And theoretically, if a healthy food is healthy, it's healthy in a micro amount or it's healthy in a large amount.
I've never felt that after
what
eating
is
sushi.
healthy in a large amount? What food?
Steak,
Or sashimi. You could eat just the
Yeah.
raw fish.
sashimi, I could go with
But
that.
I've never felt bad after eating just sushi, though. I think you got some problems going on. You should see a doctor.
No, no. Okay, so you go to the local joint, and you get the rolls that they produce, and it comes out, and these fat old rolls. I mean, I'm telling you, like 4 inches like wide, and it's dusted with all this like stuff, and it's got all this mayo that's kind of squirted over it, and you don't feel like shit after eating like 3 of those things.
No.
No, I'm not getting
Wow.
I love sushi too. And
I'm not
Yeah.
getting.
I'm
Nah.
not saying I don't
I've
love
never
it,
felt bad.
but I don't eat it and say, yeah, I think that was a healthy meal.
I don't.
You know?
Yeah, but we've also sat down and ate a half a cow before.
Yeah.
And we say,
And be like,
dude, that was healthy. That was awesome.
There's no
What's
way.
for breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steak.
I need bacon.
Yeah. So, who am I to parse that?
Let's try
We should
this.
let David know that when we do our Whiskey Bro meals, we our main course is steak,
With a side of steak.
and then we also have an appetizer of steak.
With the dessert of
Yeah.
steak.
It's not a joke though.
That's true.
Last time we cooked, we bought we found some really nice A5 quality Wagyu,
No, it was Australian.
Australian Wagyu,
Oh,
but
yeah.
heavily marbled, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
the appetizer.
we just cooked that one up while our others were cooking and split it up. So yeah, steak,
Steak on
appetizer
steak.
Are you guys aging your own beef?
We have.
We did
We
for
have,
a little bit. Yeah.
it's- My ager is broken. We have
Yeah.
Wet or dry?
dry, definitely dry.
But now
We-
we just
we
get
kinda done
we
both,
get the
yeah.
meat market to do it for us now.
Oh, yeah.
They'll just do it. We have the
We
most-
even did 40 days in butter one time.
We did 40
Really?
days of burn.
Yeah.
But what was the longest? We went way too long on the one.
We went
Yeah, we were
60
60
days?
Yeah.
65 out of a strip loin, and by the time we cut all the
Yeah, it was
hard
only-
pellicle off, it was like that much left. So
Yeah.
And it wasn't that great.
Oh, it
It
wasn't? Oh,
no,
it's
it
terrible.
was good. It
I
was
mean,
like
it was,
good,
but it was extra gamey or whatever that
Yeah.
funky,
funky. Yeah.
funky.
Oh boy, this
All right.
this
Where
rye,
we at?
this rye is
controlled
bright.
desiccation. That's
Yes.
what that is.
This
So,
rye
okay,
is
okay.
very bright.
So drink the rye because I have a. I'm going to throw something at you.
You have a poem?
No, I want to see.
poem?
I want to see if you get it.
Okay.
Because there was a lady at the tasting last night, and she swore up and down that she was getting something, and I want to see if any of you.
What was
Okay.
this paired with last night? Do you remember?
And it wasn't semen.
What was the rye paired with?
What?
That was missed.
The rye paired.
I
Yeah.
completely missed it. Paired with semen.
Was it the pork belly? I think.
Yes,
yes,
it
the
was.
pork belly.
It was the pork belly
that's-
dish.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Let me see if I can
Hey,
find
yeah.
it.
pairing.
You got a picture of that? I
there's
want
the
to see this
potatoes.
pork belly.
Yeah, it's right here. 2024. No, right there where the soup is.
Oh, boy.
Oh my
Oh
god.
boy.
Oh yeah,
no, that's it.
Yeah.
No, that's the vodka. That's
No,
the potatoes.
that's the
Mm,
potatoes.
it looks like pork belly.
Put it up on the screen so people can see it.
Okay. Well, once you click on it, right, I will. Right here. Look.
That one?
Yep. It's on the left there. Yeah.
There.
This stuff.
Okay, yeah, right in here.
I mean, look at that picture. God.
Let me make it
almighty.
Dang, it looks
bigger.
great.
I'm so freaking hungry.
I thought we had a closer
A view of it.
view of the pork belly. Let me check.
The,
and what was the fruit on top? Was that an
It was
apple?
pear? Was it pear or apple?
It was a compote.
I don't
it was
know.
definitely
but it
a
was
tree fruit.
So good.
It was
Is
spectacular.
that it or is that the potato? Oh no, that's the potato.
which was
But that's-
extremely good too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
God, I'm so hungry right now.
Free. And do you have food at your house?
I mean, I'm sure.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
No, that's the bourbon. So this was the bourbon
that-
was paired with the cookie.
Yeah,
But this
that
is a
the pork-
close-up
that is
shot.
pork belly.
Yeah,
the,
that is a pork belly.
Okay.
Of the pork belly. So there you can see it on your screen for you folks watching it on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
That wasn't there. Okay.
I got it. You ready for it?
Yes.
Hit us.
Sour apple Jolly Rancher.
So you did get it. So she
Boom!
she was
Boom!
swearing up and down.
Yep. Okay, sorry.
She didn't say sour apple, but she said apple.
You're gonna have to
Jolly
hold this.
Rancher.
Yeah, she just said apple. She's got a lot of apple out of it.
Yeah. Sour apple,
Apple.
Jolly Rancher specifically.
I did
Which
not.
is not apple, by
I
the
did
way.
not get that.
You know, that's about as apple as watermelon, Jolly Rancher.
I do
is
not
watermelon.
get that.
Me neither.
On the family reserve, I get a lot of apple and Jolly Rancher notes for sure. But this is no. I get a little bit of spearmint, and it's a very very high rye bill. It's 95% rye and then
Wow.
5% corn. Right?
Which is why I like it.
So what
Right.
makes this so bright as a rye? You know, it's just kind of bright with flavor. It's
Is
very
this
front.
also 85
Okay,
proof?
otherwise known as
80.
front
80
front
proof?
end. It's very front end.
Yeah,
Front
and
end.
I would go with that.
Yeah.
100%. It's almost citrusy, not flavor profile, but you know, in the bright acidic attack on the front of the tongue.
No, I really like that.
It's a really easy drinking rye.
It's
Yeah.
not a very manly rye though.
It's a good rye for people
Yeah,
that
no,
like bourbon too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to be a hard departure from like a Pikesville would be, or a Thomas Handy, or a Sazerac.
Have you had Pikesville rye before?
I have.
Do you like it?
It's okay. I'm a whistle pig, and last night we were talking about they carry Angel's Envy rye because they don't make a lot of that.
Yes, they do.
And I love Angel's Envy rye. I should have had some.
Find some of those throwback pictures.
I may have some down there.
I can't believe y'all don't get the sour apple Jolly Rancher.
I don't get that.
Yeah,
It is.
sorry, man.
Okay, go suck on one, and then come back to this and see if you get it.
I don't know if I like you telling me to go suck on things.
Have you ever had apple Crown Royal?
Yes.
No. What?
I've had it, yeah.
It's good.
I'd shoot myself in the head before I had another one.
I mean,
what are you talking about? You bought a bottle of Crown not too long ago.
I would
Me?
never buy one
Yes.
myself.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I'll put
it was
it
like
that
a
way,
special
right?
reserve thing or something.
Oh, the Special Reserve is really good.
No, I bought the bottle of Crown from not the Special Reserve. It's like the cast strength Crown.
Okay.
Like the barrel select.
Dude.
My
Yeah.
point was you bought a bottle.
Dude,
It's
you
like
keep-
Taco Bell nachos. You never buy it yourself, but if somebody else buys it, and
Heath
you
has already
go
broke
down
the
on their
microphone.
damn, if you go down on their like supply,
I just don't want
you
to
call it
savage
good.
it. and
You just
break
go
it.
after it.
I think I got
And that's
it
how
tight.
I had the apple.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, it's got to get tight.
Yeah, tighten up.
It's this one. Yeah, hold my mic.
I buy him new stuff and he
No,
sabotages it.
just hold my mic. The rest of the time, just hold it. Yeah, that is a good rye though. I like it.
Is good.
It's
I
not
like it.
as peppery or spicy that some of them higher proof ryes are, but man,
Yeah.
that's one easy drinking
Yeah.
rye. It
Agreed.
is. Yep,
Agreed.
I like it a lot.
Okay, so
Makes a
far,
great
if you had to
cocktail.
pick one to buy, you could just buy one.
Out of the things that we had,
Yep.
oh, gin all day.
Just a gin. Yeah.
The gin?
Same.
I've had them all multiple times, and
So tall.
still gin for me.
Yeah.
So tall.
I do.
So tall.
I do the gin. Too.
Second option would be the Bacanara.
Yeah.
Agreed. I love that. I like this because I'm not a tequila guy at all. I don't like tequila too much at all, but that stuff is actually pretty good.
Oh, I love tequila.
I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm not saying I hate it. Like we went to a tequila tasting, kind of like what we did at Trinity Street. They had a food pairing with it, and I drank all of it, and they had some really high end tequilas there. I can appreciate it, I guess, but man, I don't know. I just can't get at it.
Yeah.
Like if I have a choice of,
But that
whiskey-
Bacanara is very non-tequila tequila.
that's probably the reason why I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
What is that?
Oh my God, that's a cookie.
that's what they paired with this last night,
Yes.
which is the bourbon.
Oh dang it! I should have brought them.
Pop it up on his.
I have some
on
at the
screen.
house.
Am I close?
You're
Yeah,
good right
you're on it.
there.
Goose
Yeah.
Creek bourbon
Goose
whiskey.
Creek. So is Goose Creek different than Goose Lake?
It is the creek that outflows.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You have jumped over it probably
I have.
many a time.
Yep.
Who are we shouting out to in our photo here?
Oh, well, okay. So this is first and foremost the turtle cookie they paired with, and that is a friend of the show.
Wait a minute. Let's give a round of applause for Cody Burkhart.
Oh, yes. He is in
Yes,
the background there.
he is present.
He was almost not with us.
Almost not with
and
us.
The,
and his spousal partner.
Jody, yeah.
Yep.
Not as cool, but she don't have a cool story.
And
like
then we
Cody
have
does. And old Rieger.
our own
Old
friend.
Rieger.
Brad Rieger, yeah, who has been on the show.
Yeah.
And a loyal listener. Thanks
Kinda,
for
what's he
Oh,
look-
I thought you guys were calling him Turtle Cookie. I didn't understand.
that. Could be a cool new nickname
that
for
might
him.
be his new nickname, Turtle Cookie. What's he?
What's up,
looking-
TC?
What's he looking at? Is he looking at Cody?
I think he's checking out
don't know.
the So Tall sign.
Yeah, I think
he's
he is.
admiring it.
That's a cool sign. No lie.
It's going to be on display at Trinity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bourbon.
Yes, Bourbon.
So they use some bourbon in the Turtle Cookie itself too, which again we were talking about similarities and whatnot. But this was a spectacular match.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah,
they?
it
Did they
was.
do something with the pecans?
They're there.
Candy pecans?
Yeah,
with it
maybe
or
they
something?
are.
I don't remember what.
They were not candied.
Have you
No-
put this
notice
on the
he
screen
says-
for the viewers yet?
Becons.
Yeah.
Pecans.
Bacons.
Pecans.
Isn't that what a rooster says?
Yes.
That is a good drinking, smooth, vanilla, toffee bourbon.
I don't know. Corn liquor, and I've got a sweet tooth. It just strikes me as really sweet. Mm-hmm. But that makes it a great cocktail for a lot
Sure
of
does.
a lot of
Or
different
just a great neat, like for finishing a nice dinner. You could drink this neat and be tickled.
Oh yeah.
things. That was the first time I ever thought about matching a bourbon with a dessert, and it went spectacular.
I did.
You've never thought of matching a bourbon with a dessert before?
No, I
really?
have not. Yeah.
I think about it all the time.
Yeah. It actually did.
why I'm fat.
It actually
I mean,
was
we do
really
it
good with
all
that
the
cookie
time.
because that cookie
Yeah.
was so rich.
Yeah, and this kind of helped clean some of that butter feeling off.
Yeah, it was awesome. That cookie was really good too.
I mean, if you don't like bourbons, you should drink this bourbon because you're gonna love this.
I think you just sold everybody on that.
If you have a bottle of Crown or TX at home, take it and throw it in the garbage.
Just throw it away. Don't buy that shit.
And go and buy a bottle of Goose Creek bourbon because this is. I've already changed, converted a few people over to this.
Yeah,
that have said, "Oh, I love Crown Royal," but I'm going to put this on my shelf.
I mean, granted, you're talking to somebody who used to consume like Canadian whiskey, but I kind of laugh silently whenever I get people who kind of lift up TX as being a good example of bourbon.
Well, not all Canadian whiskey is not bad. Especially if
Not
you're talking
all.
about Whistle Pig, it's a Canadian whiskey, a rye whiskey base.
Yeah, Canadian Mist.
Well, you
said Smirnoff earlier. That's close.
I mean, we've all been on the bottom shelves before.
You've been there for a while.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's good shit.
So we talked about regionality earlier, and in New Mexico for a long time we couldn't get arrested for selling this for the amount that we did, but
it's got THC.
No, it is.
Okay, that's not what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
what was the name of that again?
Jackson Sixes.
Okay.
Again, there's a Jackson Sixes road in Red River, but referring to the mine.
Where is that road?
Over between the distillery and the bowl.
Okay.
And it runs,
east and west.
Yeah,
I'll be
west.
damned.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. Yeah.
But this is named after a Jackson Six's mine.
Yeah.
Where is that mine?
And somewhere in the Red River.
Yeah, it's in the mountains, bro.
I thought I
It's
knew
in the
them all. I
mountains.
thought I knew them all, but I did.
Yeah.
I never have known. I've never known the name of that one. I've never
Fun
heard
fact: Chance won't go into a mine.
Really?
Claustrophobic.
Oh, are you really? Wow.
I used to.
I took his wife and newborn into one, and he stayed out.
he won't go into an MRI machine either.
Well, I can understand why.
Yeah, but those are loud and obnoxious.
Yeah,
Mines are
those
cool.
Those make some weird noises.
Yeah.
If a mine made the noises
I wouldn't go in that either. Nah.
with me.
You would be leaving.
No. I ain't
So
going in that.
what's it like to live in Red River
Amazing.
full time?
Well, I live in Taos, so I'm about 40 minutes away from Red River itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But Michael grew up there. We've got a gentleman that we'll see tomorrow. I gotta give him a call. But Scott
Smith
grew up there.
Mm-hmm.
God, that smells
I
amazing.
think we're just over 500 people in population in Red River.
So the
Tiny.
caveat is in wintertime, I think people come in the summer and like, oh my God, the weather's amazing. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then they hit winter and it's like cabin fever sets in because in the mountains, I think you have to find a way to be active in the wintertime. Otherwise
You're not going to be.
Cabin fever is going to set in. You have to get out and be active.
But the weird thing is, though, with as much snow as they get up there, that it's not. It never closes things down. They never have to shut stuff down, and
Sure,
like you
yeah.
do in a lot of other communities.
So let me
that
ask
much
you
snow.
this: how secret is the secret blend of spices?
Not terribly secret, but you get them all in the nose: cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, a lot of clove,
Yeah.
cardamom.
If you could get this in a beard butter, it would be awesome.
I was going to say, I think I've smelt this
think
in
you
my
just-
wife's candles.
Gave them
Really?
a product
During
idea.
Christmas,
Jackson
yeah.
Six's beard balm.
But beard butter
That's-
would
I mean-
be-
I'm just saying.
They could pull it off.
or beard jelly.
All you need some tallow or something, right?
Yeah. It's like you should consume
it
this
smells
on
amazing.
December 12th.
This is we do a lot of business in the cold months. 'Cause
Yeah.
you make great hot drinks with this.
that's great.
Hot apple cider, as a toddy itself.
Yeah.
But it was
gonna
mentioned
say,
last
hot
night.
toddy with that right there.
This is like chai. It smells like chai.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But the secret thing, one of the secret things that
Well, don't lose your job or nothing.
I don't think so. But, you thought I was going to say old tennis shoes, probably. So
Whatever works.
Salt is used to bring out flavors of other things, the same way that you use lemon and some things. Black pepper.
Really?
Loads of black pepper set these things apart.
So this is that difference thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like-
This would be a mush of different flavor profiles that don't stand out. You wouldn't be able to call out the cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove if you didn't have that black pepper that kind of
Oh my
separates them.
gosh. And see, there I'm looking at cobbler, obviously.
Nope.
Bread pudding.
Oh,
Bread pudding.
Which I did
bread
not.
pudding.
I did not get. I opted for another serving of the tri-tip, and
Oh, really?
Look at you being
See,
a bastard.
I love bread pudding.
Yeah, me too. And
So-
that bread pudding was great.
It was.
but after that turtle cookie,
Well, I didn't. I only
How
took.
could you turn down the bread pudding?
I took 2 bites of the turtle cookie, and that's all I got to eat.
ooh, it's rich.
It's so rich.
It was.
Yeah, but
sure.
that bread pudding was good, and it went amazingly with this.
So how many dessert courses did you have?
Two.
The
Two.
cookie
bread
and the
pudding
pudding.
and the cookie.
Yeah.
and then a dessert cocktail with the bourbon called the Red River Revolver, available at Trinity Street.
Okay.
Yep. I wanted to take the spiced rum here and just pour it over my bread pudding.
Oh, that would have actually been really good.
What is?
Yeah, it's good
Oh, that's
shit.
your phone going off. Somebody's
Oh, it is.
phone's.
Your wife's probably leaving.
No, it's Calhoun's calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
they're
the hell
saying,
are- what the hell are you
doing? Yeah.
Did you just say pudding?
Yeah, did you say pudding? Yeah, this stuff is amazing. What did we say? Christmas in a bottle, I think somebody was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 3 out of 5 people that taste it go, this tastes like Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
There's
And
okay.
you could drink a small portion of this and you'll carry it for the next 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's last.
Yeah. If you go back and taste the vodka after tasting this, it will taste like nothing.
So
Yeah.
get this. All right, we were talking about those strange nose profiles or palate profiles, but get this. Okay, get your nose in it and get a good whiff, and think about striking a match.
Jesus. You just blew my mind.
Do you not get that?
No.
That same. That's
I
what.
get it. I get it. Like blown out candle.
It's like the phosphorus.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good thing to say.
No,
when
that's a
you're
great thing.
Phosphorus in your.
Okay, so the people I work with, when you fart in your, they all keep like candles, they never
Light?
run. They never run them. But whenever you go in there and you fart in their office, they'll light that candle and then blow it out just to get this after candle smell. Yeah. I get it.
I don't know. I think we are on something with the beard balm.
Yeah.
I'd put
We're
that.
gonna
I'd
go
put
ahead and
that-
trademark that right now.
Put that in my beard.
We'll do a
Jesus
collab.
Whiskey Bro.
Red River
Yes.
spiced beard ball.
Wow.
that
So
would
I
be amazing.
so I started by saying we can sell that in New Mexico. We do okay in the winter months, but here in Texas, it's probably been the most popular item.
Is that right? I believe
Yeah.
it. I believe it because we don't get that we get Christmas from a store. I'll put it that way.
Sometimes we have a white Christmas.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
once
I
every
know.
decade.
But you get
Or is that-
Christmas from a store.
2019 when was
Yeah.
Snowmageddon?
It doesn't ever feel like Christmas.
Well,
Right?
and this is another misnomer possibly, but it's usually said that Texans like big flavors, and this
Yeah.
is the biggest flavor thing that we've got.
Yeah.
For sure.
That is since we're finishing up these tastings, but the guy in the middle there on your screen is Chef Michael Rios from Trinity and responsible for all the dishes last night. So if you're in Decatur on the square, go up and stop in.
Even if
and
you're
say hi
not
to
in
him.
Decatur, drive to Decatur.
Drive to Decatur and talk to
taste
Michael.
his food.
He's something
Very
special for sure.
very creative palate. So
Yeah.
one of my favorite things, and this comes from the wine doing wine dinners, is watching a chef create because you can. When they taste something and that they're going through flavor profiles in their mind, I'd like to watch their face because it's very telling, and then what they come up with. So I missed that with him setting this up, but it's definitely really cool to see something like that when it comes together well.
And it did.
It makes me wonder what the future holds.
For Michael or for Trinity Street?
Both.
Or for Red River.
Yeah.
Hopefully a great success for everything. There's the tri-tip. Telling you, man.
It was good.
With the so tall. Look at
You know,
those.
it,
So tell us about that tri-tip.
What do you want me to tell
It
you?
was good.
How's it cooked?
You have raw red onions on it. It looks like you've got some pretty prime stuff because I see pretty good veins of marbling running
No, he
through
said
here.
he said it was like the
Chimichurri.
Okay, so
chimichurri
that's what that
glaze
is.
on it.
Chimichurri.
Yep. And then on a toasted baguette. Yes.
And that actually was a big part of that because you get the crunch off of it and had a little bit of garlic butter on the baguette as well. But obviously with tri-tip, it's so easy to overcook, and they did not overcook it, and it allowed the beef flavor to come through.
Yeah,
So it's a fairly rare preparation that
Should be,
Yeah.
that was
in my
another.
opinion.
Did we get a screenshot of the potatoes earlier?
Yeah.
We did. We
We
showed it.
did, but I didn't know if you had that on the cam.
We can show it.
Now I got to find them again. There it is, right there.
Titers.
They were good.
They were a great starting dish for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, Doc. You missed out once again.
Sounds like it. It actually didn't. Obviously, that
Look
looks
at that.
great.
That's a great picture.
That should be like a background.
Yep, that's an awesome picture. Mm-hmm. It'd be better if the bottle was more in focus. But,
Well, I'll tell the photographer to
next
up her
time.
game next
Yep.
time. Pay attention.
Okay, so what's the theme from tonight? We're 9 spirits in, right?
Try Red River Distillery.
Is that it?
I mean, that's kind of
It's
the
like-
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this translates on to other distilleries as well.
No.
Right?
Only Red River. Only try Red River.
I don't even think our boss would say, "Oh, just Red River," because you said there's Stranahan's, there's other decent ones, but it's give the small distillery its due, right?
Give it a shot, number one, and
Yeah, for
because
sure. Right?
the way that the industry has evolved is that you've got everybody's got specialties, and as you can see, we just went through 9 different things, and
Yeah.
there's really not a dog in the bunch. Number one, which is unusual,
Right.
But number two, to pigeonhole us and say that we're only about the agave items, sure, we've got 3, but if you're not trying the spiced rum, you're missing out.
Yeah, or the gin.
So yeah, it's rare to come upon a place that number one, what sets us apart is our purity of water, which you've got to have, and then our altitude obviously makes a big difference. Even though Stranahan's is up in Denver area, we're still the 3rd highest distillery in the world. There's one in Switzerland.
You have less
Breckenridge.
Californians around your distillery than that one does.
So
So that makes it better.
Makes a
I only
difference.
tasted those minerals in the vodka. It's do they exist in any of the other offerings?
No, and I think it has more to do with. So we're a brewery as well, so we're making we're using malted barley for the vodka, and I think
Okay.
that's what you're getting out of it,
Okay.
or where it's coming from, to start with. So, but yeah, having a lot of different things that you make and having them all be this level of quality is unusual in this business.
But on your message, scale that out and just seek out the small enterprise producers, spirits, beers and ales,
I like that.
produce,
I like that.
vegetables, and your like with our last episode, your meats. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your
So
proteins.
same goes for your food and your entertainment, right?
We talked about McDonald's and we talked about Trinity Street. Do you see any similarities between those two? They're doing 2 different worlds altogether.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
And one, you need to have a good solid bathroom within 20 yards, and the other one you can then retire to the bar at the end of the night and sit and drink for the rest of the evening and talk to the guys that actually put this stupid thing together and
Yeah.
see what they how they came up across that. So.
And where you buy your meat from, right?
Where you
so-
buy anything from? Yeah,
Yeah.
know the source.
So I think the theme is to keep it small enterprise. You said it, right? Okay, so I just went on a fishing trip with 14 other dudes. Okay. And what's interesting is we kept the TV on the whole time. Right? And I've not had a TV on for a really long time. And so I got to view these it's like water commercials. Right? And then I came away from the fishing trip saying, okay, if it has I said this earlier, but if it's got a pharmaceutical, I can't say this word now.
Pharmaceutical?
Yeah, pharmaceutical commercial, then you might be consuming shit. Right? And so I kind of had that same thought with like, okay, where do you get your entertainment from? It's like, what do you listen to? What do you watch? Okay, if it's got a pharmaceutical commercial, it's probably shit. But it's the same thing whether it's McDonald's or it's big distillery. You know, it's like there's some theme that runs through that. And so I think we're kind of hitting on that tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're losing out if you're not giving the little guy a chance to and trying on your own.
Yeah,
because they don't have the marketing budget behind them that would require a pharmacy to.
So, but luckily, thanks to you, your outreach is all the way to Texas.
Well,
and across Texas,
the Red River name is pretty big in West Texas, so that's it made it a natural for us to branch out this direction.
So you don't have to go to Red River, which there's many reasons why you should, obviously, but you don't have to go to Red River to actually partake in what you're putting out.
Right, and we, to your point earlier, we get calls all the time of somebody saying, "Hey, we were in Red River, we live in Buck Tussle, wherever it is. We'd like to buy a bottle of your stuff," and we made an agreement with our distributor partners that we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't sell it nationally any longer because we were shipping stuff, but it didn't make a lot of sense. And we're just like, sorry, you have to come back to Red River.
Yep.
If you don't, unless you live in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few reps in the state. We're working diligently to get it on store shelves, but it's always worth the extra effort to go into your local retail liquor shop and say, "Hey, we've tried this. We like it. Just ask for it," and they'll ask for it. So on and so on. And
so sorry, Brits. It's like,
again, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a shitty prime minister. You just need to come to Texas.
G'day, governor.
Fly to America. And then, you can fly. Albuquerque's international, right?
Yeah.
Fly into ABQ and head up to Red River. It's a nice 3-hour drive and pretty scenery along the way, too.
Yeah. Rent you a 4x4.
Yeah, for sure.
Go for a ride.
From Wheezy's, right? Isn't that where y'all rented from?
Wheezy's
Wild Rides.
Yeah.
Not affiliated or sponsored by the show yet.
Can be.
Could be. Well, cool. I think that's a good way to wrap it up. David, thanks so much for being here.
Heck yeah.
Man, that was a blast. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do need to preface it with the final statement, which is, it's like a copyright thing. Everything I said before could or could not be true. So
Yeah.
I am in sales.
we pretty much have that running on our
Yeah.
podcast anyway.
We're
we call it
professionals.
Our listeners know
So-
better.
yeah, we call it 100% fact check.
Whiskey Bros.
Whiskey
fact check.
Bro
100%. All right. Well, I think that's a good way to end this thing.
All right.
All right. Good night.
Adios. Shit.
You've been listening to the Whiskey Bros Around the Table.
Gracias por convivir con los hermanos Whiskey.